this video, what I want to talk about is how to wrap a front bumper with full print film. So what's tricky about front bumpers, obviously, is always the angles in the corners. You're gonna have a lot of failures, particularly down here, because not only does it get really stretched sometimes, is that you get a lot of wear and tear. Sometimes the bumpers scrape, like let's say speed bumps in parking lots and stuff like that, low curves, dips and stuff like that. So you really want to make sure that you protect this and seal it properly. I'm not a big fan of wrapping too far under. This one goes under, let's say, another 12 centimeters or at least another 4 inches. I always just, again, like to come to about a 1/4 inch, gonna prep it with knifeless tape and just cut it past visual for full print. No question on that. And again, for me, sometimes, especially tricky areas, this bumper for the most part is not super hard, but this area is pretty tricky. You got a deep curve here, several angles and stuff. What I highly recommend too, especially if you've never wrapped a bumper before and you're kind of guessing how the material is going to behave in there, take a scrap and play. So you're going to see me take a scrap and kind of try a couple different techniques to get a feel and figure out which one, that's the right one I'm going to use for here. Otherwise, maybe I do an inlay, or maybe I use that pocket technique where I push it down. So again, play with it with scraps, not going to go live with the bumper. But again, what's interesting about this bumper, for this video again, problem solving, is the bumper is too short left to right. It's probably about 6 inches short left, 6 inches short right. What do? Again, this is one of those things where I highly recommend throughout the job is saving scraps with the backing paper on. On the cutting table over there, we have tons of scraps, so I can kind of mix and match and make it work. Not ideal, but what can you do? It's better than having to reprint. And again, obviously, if I do it right, I won't have to reprint, but at least I can do something until it can be reprinted and reinstalled later. But I definitely want to get the car out the door as it is. So again, that's the key with the bumper. Definitely want to make sure it's clean. So again, knock it, get all the any kind of dust and dirt in there. It's hard to clean by hand, obviously. So again, try to bang it, especially here. What might be a good idea, especially on a large section like this, is take pre-mask. So take a sheet of pre-mask, put it over the top, and that just keeps any dirt from coming out. You don't want to get surprised, especially down here. And pre-mask is just quicker to put on than masking tape. So again, the story here on one side also is I masking tape the headlight, just to show you it's kind of always better to masking tape it, it makes it easier. Didn't do it on the other side, so you might see a variation there. And again, just making sure its edge seal is super tight. So again, I could do the bumper by myself, but I think it's always good to do bumper with 2 people. So again, I'm gonna go grab Carlos and we'll start it up.
So again, to begin with on the bumper, again, a very, very good idea is on the trickiest section, whether it's a deep light or in this case, a little funky light combination with the molding, the chrome, is again, take a scrap of material. This is why you're saving scraps with the backing paper on. One of the reasons is you can just take a scrap and just play. And again, it doesn't cost anything. Scraps generally either go to the customer or they're going to be practice for a new installer. So for me, this is just no brainer just to take the time to do this. It takes a little bit of time, but it doesn't cost any money in terms of extra material. But again, it gives it just a great read for this area. So again, I played with that. I came up with a game plan. While I'm doing that, Carlos, again, working as a team, just trying to create great flow, is just doing his job. He's not on the phone or checking his email and stuff like that. He's just laying some knifeless tape in about a 1/4 inch under there. And you can already see, even though it's a brand new car, it got that damage underneath the bumper. That's very common here. So again, always be aware of that. If you're wrapping directly over that, maybe put a touch of adhesive promoter there. What we're doing right now is laying out the bumper, and we can clearly see, even though we've talked about this in the overview, it comes up short. So what we're doing now is just coming up with a game plan. How do you solve this? So in this case, we got a little bit of green here. It almost makes it. So I think when we stretch it, it might fully cover, but I think if we try to stretch it to both sides, it might overstretch on that upper corner there. And so for me, that's a little risky, especially with the wheel wells. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna back up the purple there, that area where it might overstretch, and we're gonna come up over there with a slice of green. So it matches up with the green on the fender there. So again, we're doing about 1/8 of an inch on the side of where the purple goes. So the purple's going to go first and the green's going to go underneath it. So we do both sides, set them up with knifeless tape. So again, for me, this is a combination of wrapping in sections based on print, but also kind of minimizing tension, where if we try to stretch it and make it in one piece, I think there's a chance of it failing. I'd rather put an overlay piece there based on the print and get away with it than trying to stretch it and fail and then have to redo the bumper. So again, always make good choices there. So right now we're just kind of getting a rough spot where it fits left to right. So Carlos, I kind of hold it away. Carlos gets a game plan. I come back and do my side. So now with Carlos holding his side, I always like to kind of start off the center. Carlos going to kind of anchor and pull, is we make sure we have enough top and bottom. Right now I felt like we're maybe a little high. So we're just going to pick it up and pull it down low. one thing when you go around bumpers, especially front bumpers, is you want to start off as low as possible, because when you come around the corners, the material tends to kind of pull up on the side. So again, make sure you're low enough so you don't come short at the bottom. So here I lock it in. All that was right there was my permanent hinge. And now I'm going to use triangles. And what I want you to see here is we're not going to use heat at all. Partly because it's a little easy bumper, but as I said in the intro, this material was oversaturated and not outgassed. So it's extra stretchy because it's purple. The green wouldn't do this because there's less ink, but the purple stretches a lot. So we didn't even need heat there. Because Carlos knows how to kind of pull and hold the material, but B, it's just kind of extra stretchy. So I'm going to take advantage of that, and we just don't add heat. And that actually will help avoid overstretching. But even here, we're going to use another triangle here just to kind of minimize this bottom section here to kind of even that tension out. So Carlos pulls to him and I pull down, and that just creates glass. And then I squeegee down nice and easy. Super, super clean. And again, just using technique. Again, another triangle. I pull up and away. Carlos pulls straight. And again, I just use one hand right there to kind of pull it even, pull up, create glass, and then we pull down, do that triangle that we just showed on the other side. So see how it's popping up there? I pull it away in the shape of a triangle, spread the tension out, lock it in. Now that I'm done, okay, and I just needed Carlos' helps on the corners, what he's going to do, then he's going to go off and do door handles. So I said, can you go cut off a slice of purple, do the door handles, and we're filming. I want you to wrap the door handle in this way. Cool. So he grabs a scrap. So again, all I needed Carlos right there was to help me take off the backing paper, nail the corners, and then I can go and flow on my own. So again, it's just creating good workflow. Here, on purpose, I created a nice wrinkle right in the front, and that's common though for a lot of the beginners intermediate. Instead of picking up the entire bumper and starting again, see in sections. Make a very careful relief cut and give yourself about 2 inches of extra film there. Pick it back up to wherever it wrinkles, or if this happens where if you have a big bubble and you kind of work it in too quick, it'll wrinkle. Kiss it with heat, self-heal it, trigger the memory factor, let it create glass, and then bring it back. And notice I didn't pull, and so the lines are perfectly straight. So you don't want to distort the film or whiten it, just relax it. It's all about relaxing here. Especially here at the front light. This one's pretty flush, but even there, it's bridging on the light. So you don't want to heat it and jam it into the base, because over time that might create durability issues where you might overstretch it and it shrinks and peels. So here I'm making a very just kind of random relief cut. Doesn't have to be perfect because the excess is going to be cut off nice and easy. So all I'm doing is taking the tension out with a relief cut as opposed to heat. And if I do it with a relief cut, the purple stays purple and it's really good high quality. If I use heat, it might overstretch. Here at the bottom, I just give it a touch of heat to relax it around those corners at the very front. And I want to get it just under about 1 centimeter or about 1/4 inch, not farther. But again, critical here is to kind of get it under with absolutely no wrinkles. You want to get 100% glass on the flat portion. So once I have glass, I want to cut the film, but I don't quite have glass on one section. So instead of fighting in the dark a little bit, even though this workspace has great light, I just take 2 seconds to grab my portable light, LED light, and then I just turn it on. And look how much better it is for me to see under there. So again, it takes 2 seconds to grab it, but it makes a big difference in terms of not making mistakes. So I pull the knifeless, and again, working in sections here. I don't want to, because I'm working on the ground, I'm going to work evenly and symmetrically because I want a 100% seal. So again, I pull, lay on my back now, and again, it's really nice to have this much space to play. If the car was on the ground now doing the bumper, this would be a tight fit right there. But again, for me, just pulling nice and even and clean and pulling it away to there. Super, super nice. Again, I want to keep my trash off the workspace floor. So notice how I'm kind of bunching it up and tacking it underneath, especially the knifeless tape. I don't want to have lots of strings on the bottom of my shoe. Seal the edge, and then kind of finishing it. And then Carlos is still working on the door handle there while I'm sealing the bottom. So again, immediately, I can't emphasize this enough, immediately put on the clear edge seal tape. And again, this is gloss, so it's just glossy. Edge seal tape, if you're working with matte, put on matte edge seal tape. So again, nice and even. And notice I'm just on my back, got my light, got a little dark there, so I kind of move it over nice and even. Pulling with the edge seal tape on the roll, so I kind of keep it nice and even, don't get my fingerprints on it. Half on the film, half on the paint. Always with edge seal, go back with a heat gun and just kind of seal it down nice and clean. And then finish everything off on the corners there. I pull the knifeless tape, pull the excess film away. In that area where normally it might overstretch, I cut that tension away. And now run knifeless tape again, creating a baby overlap, but of course I'm matching up with the green line so it matches up super clean. And here I could have pre-cut the piece, but I like using knifeless tape. Make sure that this patch of green matches the green on the car, because there's 2 different shades of green going on this car. So I simply squeegee this piece on, super, super clean and easy. Again, knifeless tape just saves the day there. Notice how I started high to create a straight line. pull the string, remove the excess film, super easy. So again, I'm hiding the overlap within the print. So this actually will really be hard to see once the car hits the road because I'm going to use the print. I just didn't use a random purple there to create an overlap on the same color, try and hide it with two-tone. Love two-tone technique for there. So again, a nice straight line, and again, it's really hard to tell if you weren't the installer on this job, if that was actually two pieces as opposed to one. Now, for kind of finishing cutting around grills and stuff, this is full print. No need to tuck farther underneath the grill here, so I'm doing an empty solid, cutting on the grill side, letting the side of my blade be held by the chrome molding around this particular vent there. So again, I want to create good workflow, so I cut around the window, cut around the light, pull up, and I pull the masking tape at the same time. Don't want to go back and do it. I want to do as few steps as possible, create the ultimate workflow. So again, pause for a second, grab the masking tape. So again, just pulling everything in the same trash, so it's just super clean. Once I get that, then I continue on pulling the excess film. So again, pull that aside, pull the other light, all in one motion. Again, creating one motion and great workflow just makes it for a faster install. So again, immediately it goes in the trash. Now for this bottom section here, again, what I want to do is I want to wrap it under about a ½ inch. So I'm cutting just cleanly, floating in the air, a nice symmetrical line of about a ½ inch, which is going to cover the upper portion of this vent, and then I stop at the corner. But here, what you've noticed at the bottom, I have about 1 inch of chrome molding that is above the bottom portion of the bumper. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the pocket technique or that super leach technique where I'm going to heat it above that little recessed area in the corner. I'm going to heat it and then really forcefully push that material from above into the corner. And again, I don't need to go too far, as you'll see at the very end. I only want to take it just enough, but I want to avoid obviously as much tension as possible, and also to avoid whitening as much as I can. Now again, this film was oversaturated and it wasn't outgassed. So again, for me, the material might whiten much more quickly than normal. So again, I'm just trying to be super careful there and make my first relief cut. And again, what I'm going to do now that I made the relief cut and I feel like I'm going to make it safe top and bottom here, I'm going to create glass and bridge the gap between the chrome molding just above this area all the way across. So I'm going to bridge it, and this gap is about 1.5 inches or a solid 3 centimeters, about 4 centimeters. And it goes really deep underneath this chrome. So if I cut it here, the material is going to come naturally short. It's going to be short by about 1/2 inch or 3/4, and so you're going to see gray paint. But you're going to see me solve this solution really quickly, because what I love about this relief cut here is a very quick, easy way to get the material onto the main portion of the car. Plus, I can relax it on there. That relief cut, again, I'm not heating and jamming in there. I'm kind of relaxing there. But if I picked it up and tried to tuck it in there, A, it would take a lot of energy, and B, for me to get a good cut that deep underneath the chrome there would be really difficult. So again, for me, what I'm going to do is just come short. And if I cut it super straight, that might be fine, especially if the car was, let's say, black. But again, I might not fully get away with that. So again, what I'm doing now is I'm working to the corner. We'll come back to that topic later. Working to the corner and relaxing it just enough to where I feel like there's quite a bit of tension on the film. So once the tension's there, I'm going to pick the material, and by making that cut at the top, look how I definitely cover the upper portion of this section there. So again, nice and clean, get right to the light, and now this is a tuck and cut. So I'm cutting on the side of the light. So again, I'm going to get a slight piece of film that kind of just covers the inside portion there, cut to this section here, and then cut the material away. So super clean, full coverage top and bottom, but again, at no point am I heating and jamming in there. I've relaxed everything to the edges so far. I feel very comfortable with that upper section, especially in that section in the middle, just below that chrome molding. So again, safely put that scraps away for later. Now what I want to do is I want to heat this bottom section here and nice and careful. So again, I give it a touch of heat, and again with my finger, just get it around that corner, just enough, super clean. So am I getting full coverage here? Absolutely not. And a little type of jagged cut there, that's very common there. So again, just with a very light, sharp knife, I come back and just make it super symmetrical. Now again, if that was a black car, it would be done. But for me, that gap, some customers might be a little off by that. And again, don't get me wrong, the full print, you have to manage your expectations. To wrap all the way into there takes more time, more work. And if this is a color change, that vent would be out. Okay, this is much too difficult to try to wrap in one piece seamless, I think, and get the good quality for paint. But here I'm going to come back with mold and hold. So again, for me, what I love about this is now I'm getting all the way to the molding underneath, but I'm getting over there with super high quality, and it's covering the edge. and it's holding the material on. So, if it's stretched under there a little bit, the mold and hold holds it in place, but I'm getting now full coverage. So again, for me, it gets all the way underneath the molding, super clean, and this is a great tool for getting under these areas for full print film, especially under vents. I'm a big fan of that. Now here's the final results. Again, you get nice good close-ups of this. So again, for me, once you nail the corners, it's all about good symmetrical work, solid cutouts, but again, very simple. Work as a team, cut everything out with a sharp knife, seal underneath the bottom. But again, that mold and hold for that vent, for me, saves a lot of time, gets me perfect quality. You don't see a speck of the original color, and it's just a super solid corner with very minimal tension. So again, that's try to how to neutralize those areas. But again, think full print, not color change, but full print. And those upper corners have no tension with that little sliver of green. Thanks for watching. Justin Pape.